The Sacramento Kings just made a huge mistake. They just made one of the biggest mistakes. This trade went down yesterday. Obviously, the Indiana Pacers went on to acquire a Tyrese Haliburton, and Domantas Sabonis went on to be shipped to the Sacramento Kings in a big-time blockbuster trade. And if I'm a Kings fan, I am absolutely lost right now. Yes, it's awesome and all that you got Buddy Hield's contract off the books, but at what cost? You trade away your best player at one of the most important positions in basketball. It's only his second year in the league. He's 21 years of age on a rookie contract, which brings you such great flexibility. Like the Kings made a huge mistake. He should be untouchable. For him to even be in trade talks was just the front office is just, I don't like to call them dumb, like that's rude to say, but it's just not high IQ management for Tyrese Haliburton to even be in discussions. That's just horrible. We heard about De'Aaron Fox, but when I saw Haliburton traded, that's just awful. You only trade a Haliburton if it's for a superstar level talent. You only put Haliburton in a package if it's for a superstar player. Like Damian Lillard, who knows? He still may be loyal and stay in Portland. But if they're like, oh, Damian Lillard's unhappy, maybe it might be worth giving up Halliburton because Lillard's that good. But that is still something I wouldn't even do if I was a Sacramento Kings fan or if I was part of the Sacramento Kings organization. So yes, there's an exception for that. Damian Lillard's one of the best players in the game. Sabonis, you could say too, but he's like a mid-tier player. He's a third option. But to give up an untouchable player, in my opinion, for Sabonis who's good, he's not like great or a superstar or anything like that. I just think it's not a smart move. It's just not. You only trade him for a superstar, big time, like impact player for your basketball club. They're going to be better, but how much better? The Pacers, how good were they? The Pacers had more talent this year than the Sacramento Kings, or the Pacers had more talent than the Sacramento Kings, and where'd they go? And this starts with ownership. This starts from the top. They wouldn't enough bet in this position if they just drafted Luka Doncic. It was just a no-brainer on draft night, but you went with Marvin Bagley. Marvin Bagley was a good prospect, but Luka Doncic was a generational talent. He was the guy you had to take. And they put themselves even in a weirder position when they go on to draft a De'Aaron Fox, you know? They drafted De'Aaron Fox, who I really liked out of Kentucky, but Tyrese Halliburton's way better than him. You draft Haliburton a few years later, a couple years later. Then you go on to draft Davion Mitchell. So you have three lottery talented point guards, which puts you in a logjam, which makes no sense at all. So why did they make this move? Why did they make this move? They thought De'Aaron Fox was better than Haliburton, so they wanted to give Fox a pairing or just a nice little duo to keep him happy with the Sabonis, when Haliburton should be the guy you're keeping happy because Haliburton's better than De'Aaron Fox? Were they just struggling to move on from De'Aaron Fox's contract? So they panicked and they're like, we're just trading Haliburton for Sabonis just so we can compete for the play-in? This move made no sense at all. It made no sense at all if you're a Sacramento Kings fan. Tyrese Haliburton is head and shoulders over a De'Aaron Fox. When it comes to shooting the basketball, controlling the flow of the game, defensively, he's 11th or 12th in the league in steals, catch and shoot, three-point shooting. He's one of the best playmakers in the league. He may not be as flashy as a De'Aaron Fox. He's more efficient than De'Aaron Fox. He takes less shots. He doesn't have crazy numbers, but if you watch the games, he impacts the game at such a high level. And in the games, 11 or 12 games De'Aaron Fox was out, he was averaging like 18 to 19 points per game on 11 assists. He's a higher basketball IQ. He gets everyone involved. And I don't want to say that De'Aaron Fox isn't a winning player, but when you watch the Sacramento Kings, when Haliburton starts at point guard, you think they're going to be in a better position to win than a De'Aaron Fox. And I don't count moral victories, but the Sacramento Kings nearly beat the Philadelphia 76ers with Haliburton hitting big-time shots down the stretch. And I feel bad for Haliburton. This dude really embraced playing in Sacramento. Talking about how he wants to help turn this thing around, just being a great leader, saying we got to play better and all that. Like, we've been bad since I joined this franchise, and we've been bad for a long time. And they go on to trade someone who's a leader on a rookie contract, young. You just drafted, he was a rookie last year. He's your best player on your team. That just makes no sense. He brings you such great flexibility. He's a player you would enjoy playing with. The Kings just look even more like a joke of a franchise. And Sabonis is not a bad player. Sabonis is a good basketball player. I love his footwork. He can pick and pop, like his ability to roll to the basket. He's a beast in the post. He gives you second chance opportunities, a good distributor of the basketball. That's an underrated part of his game. But maybe it would have made more sense if you're able to trade a De'Aaron Fox for a Sabonis. Then you have Sabonis' feel for the game with the Haliburton. But maybe they didn't want Fox. So this was just a huge panic move, in my opinion. We haven't made it to the playoffs since 2006. We're just going to look to be competitive. Like, we're not going to think longevity-wise. You traded the best player on your team. I may be higher on Haliburton than others, but Haliburton's already one of the best point guards in the league, and he's 21 years of age, and it's his second year in the league, and he has such a great work ethic. This move just makes no sense. He's one of the best catch-and-shoot three-point shooters in the league. He just has a knack for stealing the basketball. His feel for the game is off the charts. He's not afraid of the big moment. His teammates love him. Call me crazy, but I really thought he had potential to be like face of the franchise. The impact he makes out there on the floor is amazing. Like, he's better than De'Aaron Fox. I don't even think it's close. And it's only his second year in the league. This was a panic move. If you're a Pacers fan, be excited. You have Chris Duarte over there. You started a rebuild like in the middle of this season, and you go on to acquire Tyrese Haliburton. You have Chris Duarte. You have Isaiah Jackson. You're only going to collect more assets when you trade a Turner, when you trade Brogdon, which is going to be hard to get off the books. You're only going to continue to get better. You have gems of a Terry Taylor. You have Goga Patazzi. Maybe he could be something. But if I'm a Kings fan, I'm just like, okay, we're going to be competitive, but like, you just traded away our best player. Like, Sabonis is good, but he's a third option guy. Yeah, you're going to be competitive, but like, at what cost? You just traded away one of your best players, who I think is a freaking stud. Let me know down below your thoughts. Peace out, y'all.